What is up, my crime-crazy people?
Welcome to Veil of Humanity, where we explore the thin line between conscience, fragility, and accountability. We are your hosts, Melanie Yelvington
and Kimberly Taylor. Trigger warnings today will include discussion of murder, suspicious death, and discussion of a missing person.
July 3rd, 2015, Bardstown, Kentucky. A young mother of 5 tucks her kids in for the night and disappears without a trace. Her car is found 2 days later on the side of the Bluegrass Parkway. Keys in the ignition, phone, and purse inside, but no Crystal Rogers. Her family's been searching for answers ever since. 10 years later, arrests, indictments, and even convictions. Yet Crystal's body has still never been found. Tonight, we'll peel back the layers of deception, grief, and a small town secret surrounding the disappearance of Crystal Rogers and the dark ripple effects it left across Bardstown.
So grab your favorite beverage and a pillow to scream into as we discuss this very sad, tragic case.
Just so you know, we are a fan of the cursey words, and we'll probably be using them.
Sorry, Courtney. Okay, Bess, are you ready?
You know I'm always ready.
So Crystal Rogers was a 35-year-old mother of 5 living in Nelson County, Kentucky. On July 3rd, 2015, she spent time at home with her children and her then-boyfriend, Brooks Hauk, the father of one of her children. By July 5th, her red 2007 Chevrolet Impala was discovered on the side of the Bluegrass Parkway near mile marker 14. Inside the car, keys were still in the ignition, her phone, her purse, and no obvious signs of a struggle. Whenever we leave the house, everything goes with us. If we get out of that car, what do we immediately do?
We have our phone, and we have our keys, and we usually have at least a wallet.
Yeah, or your purse is going to come out with you. Yeah. And the fact that they found all of these items in that car, no sign of struggle, no scuffs, no blood, nothing, and
just disappeared.
Just gone.
I would be out of my mind.
Yeah, I would too. Neighbors and family said that it wouldn't make sense for Crystal to abandon her phone or not call for help. Interestingly, Brooks Hauk, the last person known to have seen her, did not immediately report her missing.
And what was the reasons for that?
From the earliest hours, investigators suspected foul play, but the case remained frustratingly cold, in part because her body was never found.
Yeesh.
So as the investigation progressed, several threads started emerging. Brooks Hauk was an early person of interest. He and Crystal, they had known tensions, and he was the last person to see her.
I was going to say, that's usually the main reason why you're the closest person and the last person.
Exactly. Your spouse, your significant other, they're always going to be that first one, even if they're completely innocent and had nothing to do with it.
Right, it never fails to blow my mind when people get mad. I would just be like, hurry up, look at me, get it done, get it over with, and let's move on to the real person.
Exactly. Because you know what? If I found out that you weren't suspecting my husband, if I was... Really?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he be the first person you go to?
He needs to be the first person omitted.
Yeah.
Right.
So, family involvement and the suspicion of conspiracy. Over time, the authorities named his brother, Nick, who is also a former Bardstown police officer, and their mother, Rosemary, as unindicted co-conspirators.
Unindicted co-conspirators.
Yes. So, in December of 2023, Joseph Lawson was indicted on charges of conspiracy to commit murder and tampering with evidence in connection to Crystal's disappearance. Among the claims were that Hauk didn't want to share custody of his son, he wanted to avoid the child support obligations, and he didn't want to face legal complications from the split.
Okay, I was going to say, what's the motive here? Because we've got kids, what do we got? Life insurance, we got money, we got what's going on, what is it? So he just doesn't want to pay
He doesn't want to pay his child support.
her any
Yeah.
money. Okay.
So, in the unsealed court records, prosecutors revealed that Hauk had an affair about a month before her disappearance, contradicting his prior testimony that he had not been unfaithful. So, despite all these leads, her body still remains missing, and there's still many questions that are lingering. In November of 2016, just over a year after she went missing, her father, Tommy, he was shot and killed while hunting on their property. He and his wife had been investigating and looking more into their daughter's disappearance, and then all of a sudden he comes up dead.
Isn't that a pretty big deal when you're out hunting and you shoot someone else when you're supposed to be hunting for animals and you shoot a person?
It is, because a lot of hunters will wear orange, that bright orange,
Yeah.
when hunting, just to, so you
Let
can't
others
mistake
know.
it. Yeah.
I'm not a deer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa.
So, and I mean, hunting accidents do happen.
I get that. I get that.
That's a little weird. So Tommy had been very vocal pursuing the case, gathering documents and leads, and some people speculated whether that death was intended just to silence him and say, hey, you're getting too close, or kind of intimidate the family, going, hey, you need to back off.
Stop what you're doing.
Yeah.
Kind of like a warning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until September of 2023 that a major breakthrough came. Brooks Hauk was arrested and formally charged with murder and tampering with physical evidence in Crystal's disappearance. Shortly before, Joseph Lawson, he had also been indicted on related charges. In May of 2025, so Stephen Lawson, the father of Joseph, was convicted of conspiracy to commit murder and tampering with physical evidence. He was later sentenced to 17 years in prison.
Wow.
Yeah. And then July of 2025, after a huge trial, Brooks, Hauk, and Joseph Lawson were both found guilty. Hauk found guilty of murder and complicity in tampering with physical evidence.
See, people, you can have a murder conviction without a body.
Yes, you can. And Lawson was found guilty of conspiracy to commit murder and tampering with evidence. They both received very severe sentences. Hauk received life in prison, and Lawson was handed 25 years.
Good.
But she's still out there. She's still missing. That body has still not been recovered. That family doesn't have closure.
That's gotta be... I mean, I could see that it's one thing to deal with a family member being just murdered in general.
Yeah.
But not ever finding their body.
Not being able to put that closure.
I could see there being no rest with that. None. Especially if it was my child.
Yeah.
If this was my child, I would not rest.
I can't imagine the heartbreak this family's going through.
Me either.
The investigators, they presume she's deceased, but I mean, they can't confirm where she's buried or exactly how she died. And of course, the suspects, people convicted, they're not giving up any information. Nobody's saying a word. But how does a grown adult in day and age, and this was 2015 when she went missing, but still it's modern technology, just vanish?
Yeah. That is odd, because I was watching him. I didn't even know that the capabilities that some of the departments have to find people. I mean, we're talking about facial recognition. If you're walking down the street and there's a crowd of people, they can find you just with facial recognition.
Easily.
That's... So for her not to be found is...
Yeah. I still have questions because you watch some of these security videos and the footage is the worst footage I've ever seen. I'm like, did you have a camera from the 80s on this? Because how does my Ring camera have the clearest image of someone walking up to that front porch, but your high-tech security camera can't show anything?
Yeah.
I have questions, people. So during the trial, Prosecutors presented testimonies from employees of Houck's construction business. One witness, Charlie Gordley, said he heard that Houck was allegedly, and that's a strong word we're going to use there,
Allegedly,
looking for someone to, and I quote, get rid of Crystal. Another claimed that Joseph Lawson had talked of moving Crystal's body using a skid steer.
Whoa.
And additionally, a blanket was found in the trunk of Nick Houck's car. Nick is Brooks' brother. But conversations recorded between Brooks and his mother, Rosemary, included concern over that blanket, adding the suspicion of a family conspiracy.
Oh.
So his whole family was just out to make this one mother disappear. All over child support? Was there a bigger beef that they're just not? I mean,
an inheritance?
Yeah, what? Child support, because you don't want to pay child support, you're going to make somebody disappear.
Some people just have no ability to, what word am I looking for? I don't even know the word I'm looking for. Work things out, figure it out.
Be an adult?
Yeah, adult. There you go.
Adult.
He doesn't know how to adult.
Yeah.
There it is.
So they did unseal a lot of the court documents, and a lot of revelations came out with his extracurricular affairs, that he was having affairs, the mom and brother being mentioned, co-conspirators.
Yeah.
And then a motive tied to custody, inheritance, and legal obligations surrounding the child support and the family finances.
So it's all about money.
It's all about money. Money is the root of all evil.
Yes, it is.
Yet, even with the conviction and revelations, legal challenges persist. Appeals have been filed, of course they have, and motions for new trials have been argued on the basis of alleged legal errors.
Well, there's that word again, alleged.
Alleged.
Allegedly illegal errors.
Yeah, a lot of people keep trying to play with that, and it doesn't get you very far. The trial of Houck and Joseph Lawson was long awaited, with both sides meticulously presenting evidence, witnesses, experts, and counter-arguments. Prosecution, they were hinged on testimonies from former employees and acquaintances who claimed they heard incriminating conversations.
I bet they did.
And that's a lot of hearsay, and I'm actually surprised they were able to present that.
Yeah. A lot of times that's not allowed in the...
It's not.
Hearsay.
So digital and forensic evidence placing key individuals in suspicious proximity during critical time frames. So they're basically saying, hey, about the time that she went missing in the area, somebody was there. And of course, that motive again, we go back to custody, finances, and attempts to avoid the legal repercussions. So it's all kind of, again, it's all money. Money, 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 money.
Mm-hmm.
Defense, though, they were arguing of lack of indirect physical evidence. Of course, no body, no definitive weapon. There was no sign of a struggle, nothing in the car. So how can you convict somebody of murder at that point? But you can.
Yeah, you can.
They were challenging witness credibility, suggesting hearsay or speculation, which I kind of am too, because that kind of is hearsay. You're saying you heard those conversations, but you don't have the proof of the conversations.
Well,
unless you're sitting there recording somebody the entire time, you're not going to get that proof.
Exactly. So it's like my word is not enough.
Exactly. But in legal eyes.
Yeah.
So they were presenting the alibis and alternative explanations for movements or proximity claims. And then after deliberation, the jury found both defendants guilty on all charges. They were both sentenced on September 17th of 2025.
Oh, this was just the other day.
Yeah.
Wow.
It took 10 years for this, but at least on the legal side of it, the family got that conclusion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, because Joseph Lawson, he he got 25 years. Stephen, previously convicted, had already been sentenced to 17. But they said the courtroom was just emotional. Family members delivered their statements. They demanded that Crystal's name be remembered and that justice be complete. I would be demanding, tell me where she is.
Yeah.
Where is that body?
Yeah.
I want to put her to rest.
Yeah.
Despite the verdicts, some defense attorneys have requested new trials, claiming procedural errors. With main convictions secured, one might believe the case is closed, but many mysteries endure. Where's her body? Without the remains, the investigators and families still lack certainty about how and where.
That she died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who pulled the trigger? Though several were convicted of involvement, the prosecution never pinned down a single individual as the definitive killer. So who actually did it? Or what if none of them were involved and it was just she just somehow went missing?
Not likely, but
I know.
Always a possibility.
Always a possibility.
Yeah.
Will appeals alter the outcome? Some convictions may be reversed or retried if courts find procedural missteps, which we've seen that in a lot of big cases.
We have.
And what about the unindicted conspirators? What about Rosemary and Nick? They've not been charged. Will they be charged? Will prosecutors consider them a part of this scheme?
That's what I thought was happening.
But there's also interconnected crimes that's in Bardstown. Some believe Crystal's disappearance may tie into other violent episodes in Bardstown, including the ambush killing of Officer Jason Ellis on the same parkway in 2013 and the 2014 murder of a mother-daughter pair in the Netherlands.
Oh, interesting.
So there's a couple little other things. There could be a serial killer.
Maybe.
I mean, you never know.
Yeah. All options open.
Yes. After her disappearance, her young son Eli remained in Houck's family custody, which, of course, added emotional and moral complexity for her other surviving children that weren't Houck's.
Mm-hmm.
For the Rogers family, the crime may be legally resolved, but the emotional wounds are ongoing. Even in the absence of a body, they have fought for truth, remembrance, and a legacy for Crystal. The case of Crystal Rogers is a haunting reminder that justice doesn't always bring closure. A woman vanished, trials were held, convictions secured, yet her remains are still lost and many questions remain unanswered. Perhaps someday new evidence will emerge. Perhaps the conspirators who remain free will face accountability. But for now, we remember Crystal Rogers, not just as a victim, but as a mother whose name demands not to be forgotten. I hope one day her family gets that closure and gets to bring her home to rest.
And I as well.
Because, man, I can't imagine. Okay, y'all. Let's breathe it out. I want to send prayers to the family, and I hope that someday Crystal is found. If you are someone anyone has any information on where she may be located, what happened, anything, please reach out to your local FBI office, or there actually is a task force website. It's we'll put it in the show notes as well. It's www.crystalrogerstaskforce.com. Alright, my crime crazy people, we will be back next week with a brand new episode. To see all of our source material, please consult the show notes. If you don't mind, please leave us a review.
5 stars, if you will.
And let us know how we are doing. Don't forget to click that subscribe follow button and catch us on our social medias at Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok at Veil of Humanity Podcast. Also, if you have any questions, you want to provide feedback, or have a case suggestion, please send us an email at veilofhumanity@gmail.com. Okay, Bronx, tell the people we will see them again next week.